You are watching Soleful Discussions.
Hi, how are you doing today? How did we meet today? How did you and I cross paths?
Literally a minute ago, I was just walking in.
Okay. Absolutely. Walking into the school and you said you're going to take an assessment. You were a little nervous about it.
Yes, because like I said, I was going to Rio Hondo
Yeah.
for a while, then I quit, and then I just worked.
Yeah.
And then now I feel like I should go back to school and just
Try to do something positive.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's dope. So I approached you. What did I approach you about? What were we trying to do today?
talking about feet,
Okay. What else?
mental, and just
Mentals, and one of them.
and women. Yes.
Reflexology. Don't forget that one. Don't forget that
Yes.
one. Let me ask you this. So when I told you that we were talking about feet, you made a certain motion and everything. When you hear feet, what's the first thing you think about?
I don't know, crusty.
Crusty. Okay. Today we're gonna ask you some questions. It'll be like there'll be some questions encompassing around feet. Just feel free to answer however you like in those moments. Okay. What about mental health? When you hear that, what do you think about immediately? Like, what goes to your mind?
Mental health, I think about primarily like depression, like
Anxiety. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just think about like some of my friends who
Yeah.
passed away because of things
Yeah.
like that.
It can be rough, man, especially because this can be invisible too to a lot of others who may not know. So it's a little rough. But today we're gonna talk a little bit about like dealing with stress, anxiety, like some of those things. Like how do you kind of deal with some of those things? And I'll even add in some things that like I've learned along my journey with like mental health and stuff. So we'll get to that point. Reflexology, you ever heard of that? I bet you have. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give you information today about reflexology, and you can just tell me, is that something you agree with? Do you think it's a good thing? Is it a bad thing? You can just let me know. Okay, cool. Let's start with the first question. Okay, how do you think we can improve mental health awareness throughout the world? Like, what's something we could do?
Well, first, I guess, because I know more in like Asian culture, it's kind of
Like a taboo type thing?
yeah, it's kind of like you're either crazy or you're normal.
Yeah.
There's no in between. There's like not really helping that.
Yeah.
So I guess for an Asian perspective, I feel like it's more talked about
Yep.
and more open. Like I don't know how that would work, but yeah, they're more open about it and just
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. The fact that they talk about it more, like, that's really good. That's what. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like, just we're just having a conversation.
okay.
I want you to fill in the blank on this question. Okay, the world would be better if just whatever you think, whatever comes
That's
to
a
mind.
lot of things.
A lot of things?
I'm blank. Okay.
Okay.
If we were just, oh, I think we just cared more about the environment.
If we cared
and
more.
less of the science.
Okay.
I felt like science is kind of
Yeah. So if we cared more about the environment and like, let's
just like more love, you know.
I
Just,
love that.
like, love the earth, love the animals,
Love other people, yeah.
like just
That's dope,
love,
man.
I guess.
I love that. If a friend or loved one was struggling with like stress or anxiety, is there anything you would say to them or any type of tips you would give them on how to deal with it?
I usually advise to find like certain hobbies to channel their anxiety or depression or anger.
Like a distraction almost. Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
like when you like break up with somebody, you
Yep.
know, you feel all types of emotions.
100%.
I'm always like, you know what? Change your hair color.
There you go. Cut the hair.
Yeah,
do
go
something.
do some exercise.
Yeah.
Like, find something to like go kickboxing. I don't know.
Exactly.
Go jogging. You know, just to channel that.
Just like try some new things. I love that. I love that. What are some things that bring you anxiety? And you don't have to go too in depth, but just maybe more of a surface level answer. And like when you feel anxiety happening, is there anything you do to like counteract how you're feeling? Like you just do something different.
For myself, what causes me anxiety? I guess like if I'm working and I just feel overloaded,
Overwhelm yourself, yeah. I feel you.
overwhelmed, I'll just stop, give myself a break, like
Okay.
about 5 minutes.
Little breather.
Yeah, just like walk around and just, just pretty much take a walk and just breathe and just calm myself down. But
Okay.
another thing I do. I'm getting off topic.
No, go
With
ahead.
my son, he's like 2.5.
Okay.
Almost 3, and what I use to help him is just counting down from 10 to 0.
That's a good one.
And then we're breathing in and exhaling and
Calms you
inhaling,
down.
Yeah. Just to teach him how to.
Those are some good ones right there. Yeah, absolutely. Those are some real good ones there. I love those. In terms of yourself, if there was one thing you could change about yourself, it doesn't have to be physical. It could be anything. Is there anything you would change?
Yeah, I think I've gotten better. Before I had like my stressful job and my kids and everything.
Yeah.
I was very kind of just lucid. I was more very passive, and I was just like go with the flow, whatever.
Yeah.
But then now I feel like I have
more
a
aware.
thicker backbone and just more assertive. But I think that's kind of like my weakness. I'm still working on that. Just to be like, instead of a yes ma'am all the time.
Heck yeah, it's like I'm gonna say no.
No,
it's gonna be a no this time.
Yes, yeah.
I love that. Okay, let's get into these questions now. When I think about my feet, I feel.
Ugh.
Yeah, she didn't even give us.
I don't know, my feet is so ugly.
Okay.
Unless you're a baby.
Yeah, she did say that once we met up. It's like, this is a baby. Like, I ain't even trying to. Don't put your foot in my face or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: have you ever received compliments about your feet? Has anybody ever said to you, "Hey, I think you have nice feet"? Has that ever happened? Okay.
No, maybe the size, because
what
my
size do you wear?
sisters have like larger feet than mine.
Okay.
So, like, I have 6.5, but
okay.
I think they're hideous.
Okay.
I mean, they just wish they could wear small shoes.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that everybody wishes they could have it. I mean, you can sometimes get kids' shoes sometimes, and that's really dope. That's really dope. Let me ask you this: if you received a compliment from a man, like, what would your feelings be? And then if you received a compliment from a woman, what were your compliments? Like, how would you feel about the compliments coming from two different parties?
Usually when, like, let's say for instance, my boyfriend, but then like
my girlfriend does the same thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know what it is.
It's just like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, and then but when a girl, like a random chick, be like, "Dang girl, nice hair," I'm like, "Damn, bitch."
Yeah. It just feels a little bit different. I guess because you kind of expect for guys to like just say
like,
it.
They say it to everyone, but like for girls, when we say it, we mean it.
Yeah. It's more because you know, you can tell.
Like, damn, her outfit is fucking cute.
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
No, you're good. Let me ask you this: what are some compliments that you like to get? Like a certain compliment, it could be not just physical, but like in general. Somebody gives you that compliment, you're like, man, that made my day. It really made me feel good.
Just like my work ethics. Like if I did something really good.
Yeah.
I work with in the last few years, I've been in the medical field, not like with like doctors. Well, I still with doctors, but but like just like getting my work done and like I don't know, just
you're good. Keep going.
Cut all this stuff out.
It's all good. We like to do it raw.
Yeah, just I guess compliments on like my work ethics.
That's dope. Okay, cool. What's one quality that you would like in a potential partner? Like something that you're like, they have to have that, or I can't date them.
Communication.
That's a very, very important one.
Communication, trust, I think, and humor.
Okay.
Those are my main top 3.
Okay. Gotta have those. All right, cool. How often do you get pedicures? I think we kind of talked about it a little bit, right? But I'm asking anyway.
Rarely.
I
go.
So like special occasions, weddings, parties.
Birthdays. Well, not birthdays, but like.
Yeah. Like if it's a friend's birthday party and you guys are like going to Vegas or something.
If my feet is feeling really, 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 really crusty.
Yeah.
Because after you have kids, your body's a hot mess. So that's one time where I'm like, okay,
it's like I gotta go.
Take the
you need that little pampering and stuff. Absolutely.
Yes. But it's rare. I should go more often, but please.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before? Does that sound familiar?
Yes. Where you see a podiatrist and you get that hangnail out.
Yeah, they actually have other services they do too. Yeah,
like that,
exactly. They actually, you can go there to do like a pedicure just like you would do at a cosmetic like type pedicure place, but this one would be one where they give you more insight. They tell you like different things that are happening with your feet. Maybe you're using a certain type of lotion that's not really good for your feet, so they can tell you like, hey, actually you should use this type of lotion, or just give you more insight into what's happening with your feet. Have you ever experienced that before, or would that be something you would go to in the future, or
maybe in the future? Because
okay.
I'm sure I'm not gonna be able to like my toenails or something. 'Cause, like, yeah.
It's like once I get up there in the age, but have to, that's where your kids come in there. Hey man, I was there for you, so come on, let's get these things done. Absolutely. Let me ask you this: how often do you wear like open toe shoes, sandals, flip flops, things like that?
Oh my gosh, it's so rare.
Okay.
I'm literally like in Crocs and socks right now.
Really? Yeah. I mean, where you are, yeah, you got the Crocs and socks on right now. Absolutely. So you said it's a rare occasion. Would it be like, let's say you were going to a party or something like that, maybe in that situation, or?
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm going to like a pool party or something like that, obviously my toes are gonna be.
You can't be that one person out here with like, I'm wearing socks in the pool. Yeah. you can't do it, man.
Yeah, that's like.
Because people could be ruthless. They'll start flaming you, man, like big time. Absolutely. How do you go barefoot? No shoes. Like you just.
Asian. I go barefoot everywhere.
Do you got the rule? Like when people come in, take your shoes off? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely. I had that when I had my apartment before. I was like, I don't want nobody tracking nothing in my house. Take the shoes off.
People spit, shit.
All kinds of stuff, man. It's like I remember when I found out that the different chemicals and different things from outside, how they can like get into your carpet and different areas like that, and then
it really like clings
it's crazy. So when I heard about that,
a
whole lot more work.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All right. So now, in this moment right now, can we see what your feet look like? I'm gonna put you on the spot, but I'm also gonna tell you about the mental health that got me started with my channel, and it's gonna make sense after that. But in this moment, can we see, or what are your thoughts? Okay. Don't worry about that. We're not worried about that. Let me have you leave your socks on for a minute. Okay. Just take both Crocs off, and then I'm gonna have you if you can scoot back just a little bit on here, and then put your feet down flat first. Okay. And then it looks like.
Sorry, I'm gonna dry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it. Is your second toe like a little bit longer than your other toes?
Yeah, they're almost the same length as. Well, I guess a little longer than my.
Okay. Do you know what that's called? Because there's different type of like toe alignments for everybody.
I always see it online, but I don't really like.
You don't pay attention to it. So this alignment right here is actually called the Grecian toe alignment. It's a Greek toe. So it's like when that second toe is a little bit longer. When your first toe is longer, it's called an Egyptian toe alignment. And then there's a rare amount of people who have like all the toes kind of like are almost like the same size. That's actually like a Roman type of foot. So it's like actually some different information there for you. There you go. So yours is a Grecian, Greek toe. There you go. Let me have you, can you extend out like this, straight? Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. And then now you can take your socks off. And then I'm gonna have you put your feet down flat like this when you take them off, just straight like that. Same way. Don't worry, because we're still gonna get into it. All right, cool. All right, and so you have is that like a grayish? It looks like a grayish, like black
I had
type
to get
color.
my nails done for my sister's birthday last weekend.
Okay.
You caught me at a good time.
There it is. So this is one of those few times you like, I actually went because it was a little crusty, so there it is. Okay, you have very nice feet. So here's your first compliment, because you said you don't remember getting one. You have very nice feet. So don't feel bad about them or anything like that. You're good. Okay, and then let me have you like stretch out again like this, straight.
Okay.
Yeah, feet straight. Okay, let me ask you this. In this moment right now, like we started asking questions. We've been talking now for 14 minutes. And we're taking a look at your feet now. What are your thoughts? How you feel in this moment?
Awkward.
Is it awkward because
I'm like, I just want to put on my sock.
All right, cool. Let me talk to you about the mental health, what got me started, and then leave you feel I'm going through a couple more exercises, okay? But let me talk to you about what got me started channel. So during quarantine, I was watching another guy's channel, right, on YouTube. I got furloughed from my job, and I was just like at home, like, let me put myself into something. So I started watching like a lot of YouTube, and the guy's channel was talking about exposure therapy. Have you heard of that before? No. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example of what it is. So it's basically for people who like feel uncomfortable in certain situations or scenarios. So let's say, for example, you're somebody, you go to theme parks and you're like, I'll walk around, but I'm not getting on any rides, because basically that way I feel as soon as I get on there, I feel very afraid, and this is how I feel. but you want to start to learn to do that. You want to like step out of your comfort zone. What therapists will tell you to do is go out, do that. Do it over and over and over again, right? Because what they want you to be able to see is like what the facts of the situation are, right? Because a lot of times our minds will create other scenarios that are not true. Like, it's like, well, if I get on the ride, like something bad could happen. Like it might, you know, and it's true, something bad could happen, but what's the likelihood of something bad happening? So what they want you to do in those moments is think about like, what's the worst that could happen? If the worst that could happen is that you're going to be a little afraid at first, then like move forward. Because like you're allowing yourself to be stopped by something that's like not really real. It's not real until it is real. So when I heard about that, I'm like, I'm a chronic overthinker. Like it could be about something as simple as like going to the movies, right? I could be like, man, I want to go to the movies, but damn, should I go at this time or should I go at that time? Or like, what if I do this and then I do like, so I start to do that, and before I know it, the time has already passed and it's like, it's too late. So I was like, I want to get better at just making snap decisions. I just want to be able to like move forward in life, right? Yeah. So I had the idea, like with a lot of women who have like been getting into like foot modeling, that's a thing, like especially during quarantine. I was like, what would it be like if I just like go up to women who I just met you, I don't know you, and I just asked them like if they're down to like do this interview and practice some exposure therapy. So like this for you, like especially because you say like feet is like a disgusting thing for you, or you're like it's kind of weird, right? Yeah. But like, can you just practice it? And so far you have. You got out of your comfort zone. You feel a little uncomfortable, but like, is anything bad happening? Did the sky fall? Like, is any like you feel a little uncomfortable, but you're past that now, right? Yeah. So that's kind of what my channel is about. It's about trying to like normalize the conversation around feet so that people don't feel weird or they don't have like weird ideas about it or anything like that. It could just be a normal thing that people can have a discussion about. What are your thoughts about that? How do you feel about what my channel is trying to do?
I think that's really awesome.
Okay.
Actually,
all right.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I can relate to because the whole roller coaster thing.
Oh.
I like fuck that shit.
It's like heck no, man.
Yeah, like
nah.
There's a lot of things I'm scared of. Like
okay.
On the beach, like I like to be at the beach,
yeah.
but I won't go in the water.
Wow.
This is terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, like but I think that's great. Like
yeah.
I think a lot of people can relate. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
And I'm glad to be able to give you information because you said you know what exposure therapy is. So maybe that would be something you can try in the future, like to some of those situations. Like, just ask yourself what's the worst going to happen. Even if you went to a theme park and you said, okay, I'm going to get on one ride today and I'm just going to like, I know I'm going to feel like this, but I'm going to go through with it and we'll see what happens. That might help you become a little bit more confident about doing it in the future and like just not thinking any bad thoughts like this is going to happen or that's going to happen. Just go through with it. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about reflexology. Okay, now I'll let you go. I know you got to get up and out of here. Reflexology is about the different pressure points actually in your hands and in your feet, right? Those pressure points like connect to different parts of your body. So like, for example, through like a massage, through acupuncture, through acupressure, you can alleviate like stress and tension to various parts of your body. So, for example, let's say you're somebody who deals with migraines. There's actually a portion of your hands and feet to massage that alleviates the tension you feel in those moments. It's actually a piercing you can get in your ear, does the exact same thing. What are your thoughts about that? Like, does this sound more familiar now that I kind of like explain what it is?
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Is that something that you've ever experienced before? Like when you go get massages or anything like that? Do you like have them target certain areas or?
Yeah, for sure.
Got it.
I have a lot of body aches, so I'm always, especially like right now, I slept kind of wrong. So I messed up my shoulder and my neck, so I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then I did see that certain areas of like the pressure points on your feet or hands or whatever connects to like
organs.
Some of your organs, upper bodies,
100%.
things like that. I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy, but I never like went out of my way and like pressure points, you know? Yeah, but yeah, that's really cool.
Nice. So when you usually get to reflexology, we like to talk about sensitivity, right? How ticklish do you tend to be? Yeah. When you go get pedicures, do you ever feel like when they're doing like the pumice stone, do you ever feel ticklish?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But I'm like, bitch, put that shit up.
Okay, so now I have a trick for you. Do you mind if we test it out to like see so that I can give you that tip? Is that cool? I have a tool to use too, so don't worry, I'm not touching yours. So can you hold that for me for 1 second? And then what I'm gonna do is let me grab my tool real quick, and then I just want you to tell me where you feel it at the most, and then which foot you feel it on the most. Okay? Does that sound good? All right, cool. Here we go. All right. And I'll take that back. And then let me get you to just flex your feet up like this. Okay. And then I'm going to start from bottom to top. Just tell me where you feel it at and then which foot. Okay. You ready? All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Where are you feeling it at the most with this? Is it? It seems like you kind of start moving when I got like right here.
Yeah, it's like tickly.
Okay. What would you say the scale is on a scale out of 1 out of 10?
The ticklish?
Yeah. Sensitivity,
yeah. Like a 7.
Like a 7. Okay.
Like 6, 7. Yeah.
Okay. So let's try your left now, and I want you to tell me if this one is worse and where the area is. Where was the area on this one? Where did it feel it at the most?
Like somewhere in the
So
middle.
in your arch, like your arch area. Okay, cool. Let's try your left. Tell me where you feel it. Flex it up again, and then here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then where do you feel this one at? Is it the same area?
Same area.
Okay. Is this one less?
Less.
Okay. Yeah. Are you left-handed or right-handed? Right-handed. Okay. It's probably because you apply more pressure over here on this side. So here's what I'm going to do now. I want you to wiggle your toes, and I want you to tell me if you feel it more or less while I'm doing it. Okay? Got it? Ready? So wiggle right here. Do you feel that more or less?
No. I kind of.
You don't? A little bit more or less? Try it again. Try it again. All right. More or less?
Oh, less.
Less? Do you know why? So that's part of it. But also, so think about it this way, right? Your mind, you're telling yourself to do this motion, right? So it's almost like a distraction because your mind connects to all these other parts of your body, right? But also when you move your feet like in a motion, it like moves the energy from place to place. So you can't feel it in a specific area. So when you go get your pedicures, when they start doing the pumice stone, if you just wiggle a little bit, you'll feel it a lot less. That's a little trick for you. Let's try your left. Tell me if you feel it less here. You ready? Less?
Less.
Oh, okay, cool. Now, last thing I'm gonna have you do, we're gonna have you do some exercises with your feet. This is just to test dexterity and flexibility you have, okay? So flex your feet up first like this. Bend your toes, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping. Does it feel pretty easy to do? Not hard? Relax. Spread your toes. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Is that easy to do? Pretty good spread. You do yoga or anything?
I used to.
Okay, that's why you're pretty good at that. Then lastly, just wiggle your toes for about 10 seconds. You tell me if you feel any pain, any cramping, anything happening.
Well,
a little cramping?
No, because right here,
okay,
I've been having, I don't know, some kind of pain.
Okay.
It's not like unbearable.
Okay.
But it's like just the base of my, right here.
Right there.
So to me, I'm like, oh, I feel something.
So you still feel that same thing like that when you do that?
It's just been like that for a few weeks.
I have something you can do that will help you out with that. Like create some more like dexterity, flexibility, and like loosen up your muscles and tendons there, okay? Cool. Let me tell you about that. So what you can do is in the morning times when you wake up, take a golf ball or a tennis ball, right? All you have to do is just roll your foot across it. And what it'll do is loosen up all those areas you have in the bottom of your feet that normally you don't get a chance to stretch. Because I'm pretty sure you're not at home like, let me stretch out and do these motions, right? But you should also practice some of those motions on a regular basis. Like it'll help you out a lot.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
I will definitely.
You're cool to put on your socks and stuff right now. Let's wrap up. So in terms of my approach, right? When I first came up to you and I asked you to do the interview, what were your thoughts about my approach? Did you feel like it was good? Was it bad? How'd you feel about it?
I thought you were lost. So I was like,
Is he lost?
Yeah, because I was
And you
like,
were lost too. You're like, wait, where do I go?
Yeah, because I was like, should I ask this guy where this building is?
Yeah.
And then you were like walking towards me and I was like, shit, I think he's lost too. So I was like, oh shit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I am also always on alert too.
Absolutely, as you should be.
Yeah, so that's like half of.
You're like.
I'm like.
Ready to run,
like,
or I'm ready to answer a question.
Right yeah, but it was like really random.
Okay.
Yeah, and you weren't like creepy or anything. Thank God.
Appreciate that. In terms of the interview, right, start to finish, because you see how everything was going in a line. Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new from the information?
Well, I learned about your channel. Very awesome, by the way. Learned about reflexology.
I feel a refresher though, like a refresher for you. Absolutely. Exposure therapy, I think, was the biggest thing for you.
Yes.
Getting out of that comfort zone. Absolutely. But do you think now that you kind of learned a little bit about exposure therapy, maybe in the future you'll start to like maybe try more things and just like not think so much about negative things happening, but thinking about positive outcomes? Do you think you'll ever do that?
Yeah, I'll probably start very small.
Okay, yeah, no, that's how you do it. I think this was a big step for you because especially your thoughts.
Like, bitch, what the fuck?
So I mean, and I think when you see the interview back, I think it'll be something positive because you'll be able to tell yourself like, oh, I did that. Like now in the future, if anything comes up, I can truly do that. Absolutely.
My baby daddy's gonna be like laughing at me. He's like, what the fuck?
The last thing I always ask on my channel, right? Something from like a mental health standpoint. Maybe it's a life lesson you learned. Some wise words that maybe somebody said to you that you could say to my channel that could be helpful. And it could be anything. Don't overthink it. Just whatever comes to your mind first.
I guess, whatever, what did he say? I learned this a long time ago. Whatever goes down must come up.
Ah.
So it's in regards to like the way you're feeling. You may feel very low at one point. It may feel like it's gonna get lower and just worse, but it always comes back up. And that's what he taught me, and I still use it all the time.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much. I definitely appreciate like you like just taking the time like to do this interview and stuff with us. All right, and we hope that you have a great one. Okay. All right.